ladies and gentlemen, we here with Miss Isba. Now, I'm telling you, I met her same way I met the other sister, Morgan, yesterday. I saw him standing over there, so I was talking to him. Good sister, Isba, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So, at the Pod Fest, what brought you down here?
Really? What brought me down here? Let's be for real. Buzzsprout. That's what brought me down here because I knew nothing. When I say nothing about Podfest, I just started my own podcasting. You want me to hold it? I just started my own podcasting channel. Basically, it's like a self journey channel. Um, Look, if I go back in October, I got let go from my job, and a few friends from college was just like, when I say tired, they was like desperately tired. Like, we need you to have a creative outlet. They basically were saying you give yourself to too many people and companies that don't appreciate you. You have to have a creative outlet that will let you, exhale to have something for yourself. And they was very adamant that I do a podcast because I was thinking about like vlogging and posting blogs, but they was like, no, podcasting because they said I can talk to anybody in the world and I make people feel comfortable to talk about anything that they might not feel comfortable. So they was very they was drilling it.
Right.
When I say drilling it or at my stay at I went upstate New York, my whole vacation stay, they just kept on reiterating podcasting to the point I'm like, okay, let me look into it. So, yeah.
Let me ask you a question about. I remember, I think it was a prior, you was telling me you used to work in corporate America, correct?
Yes, previous job I was a HR administrative assistant. I was doing so many. When I say so many things, I was the coordinator. I was the sign-in lady for the temps. I was doing a lot of things. I actually put together the first ever like newsletter, designed the newsletter from scratch. No template needed because I designed the template. I designed the logo. I was doing a lot for
Well, the reason why I brought that up is because do you feel that black women, just their experiences in corporate America, do you feel that they're extremely overlooked, like versus their white female counterparts?
I'm not gonna say extremely. I'm gonna say I need another word that's bigger than extreme because they are overlooked. 9 out of 10. Not only as a black woman, but like a dark shade black woman, definitely overlooked because we have some black women. I'm gonna call it modern day passing, right? That when people see them, they might not think they black, but they are because people think they a different nationality because they don't have the strong features of African descent because they might be mixed up with other things, but they are black. They identify with black, but even that is, of course, too towards dark-skinned black women in corporate America. I know I have a little experience in that, my own personal experience. So.
And I've heard many different YouTube channels talk about colorism in the area of dark-skinned black women. And some people, seen light-skinned sisters say, well, we all black and we all treated, discrimination, of course, in corporate America as well. But what is if you can articulate the experience for them that don't really understand, even though they're black, just like you, like what is the differences that you would get done or you seen versus, a lighter skinned black woman?
Well, one, just how the white counterparts treat them. Like, they might interact with them more or directly ask them questions. I would say with my experience, I felt like my white counterparts that's older, and it's the difference between older white gentleman or female compared to someone that's close to your age. Someone that's close to your age could be more relatable to you, but the older ones, they will talk to you like if you was a child. Um, um, Compared to treating the lighter black women, they would just treat them more of like an equal, based on my experience. It's more of an equal realm with them. One thing I would say, my godmother actually pointed out when I was talking to her about my experience, about, I'm gonna just say one of my managers. she identified herself as a black woman, and my aunt was just like, but is she black? I was like, she identifies herself as a black woman. There's a difference. You can identify yourself as a black woman, but how you act and use it is different. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go based on what she told me. So, in the realms of things, my godmother was basically trying to say, just because she identifies as a black woman, but she might look more like, say, Spanish, or people might relate to her as a different ethnicity and be able, feel comfortable with her. She used that to her advantage. And I feel like when you use that to your advantage, that's not helping your other black sisters that's darker than you, that when we walk into the room, we can't just erase our melanin compared to some light skinned women can just approach, enter in the room and it's like easy breezy, or it's like, oh, what are you? Are you white? Are you black? Are you Spanish? Are you this? It's, in my experience. I don't know, I might be
No. You're not rambling. Your experience, your experience. I'll never tell someone they're rambling about their experience, because we all want to learn. These are issues in the black community that we do need to discuss about how, black women are treated, black men are treated. And the best way to do that is just through, definite experience. So what could be done to change that within our own group? Because you were stating that some people you notice would take advantage of the maybe looking a little bit more racially ambiguous than maybe me and you would look. I mean, we see us, we know good and well West African features on us. So what could you think they do to help that? Because we are, at the end of the day, we still black. So what could we do?
I mean, kind of speeches, I mean, we could do a lot. But I feel like the most important thing is, I like that unapologetically black, supporting each other, motivating each other. Like, and when I say black now, because some people just look at color, but black is in every region of the world. That's what I'm talking about, not just black Americans, because that's another topic. People might, chime in like, oh, I'm not black because I'm from Caribbean, but we all black, or Dominican. I'm talking about every black identity. I don't care if you are Dominican as black, and you might not identify yourself as an African or a black person, but you are. I feel like we should all adopt the unapologetically being black, because in a way, if you underminingly like passing or just accepting things because people approach you because you don't look like a typical black person, that's still feeding in the ignorance of what's the word? It's just feeding the ignorance and not helping literally each other, because then it becomes something that's selfish, because you trying to get a financial gain so to better yourself. But at the end of the day, if you look at a community aspect, we have to help each other to rise up.
Yeah. I agree to 100%. But basically, you have people in our community that like to play games, with the system or white supremacy. Let's call it what it is, because that's the system. They created the colorism and the brown paper bag test, etc. And like I said, I know black men, darker skinned black men, we definitely deal with those colorism issues more so with the police than anything else, because it's like the darker you are, because I saw this one former police officer said that the darker you are, the more you're feared, versus a lighter skinned brother, he's not as feared by the police as much. So it's like, man, I'd rather deal with the corporate racism than the police, because the police be killing folks.
Really, you would?
I'd rather deal with it that way.
I don't want to deal with none of that. I want
we
people
don't want to deal with it. Obviously, that'd be a perfect world we treated equal, right? But if I had to make a choice, I'd rather deal with corporate racism than police.
Because corporate, like, my experience, I might have like great ideas and outcome, creative ideas to help the company, but me looking younger than I really am, and then I feel like my complexion being a black young woman, they're not taking me serious. I always felt like, I literally, in my bones, going to work, I felt like they never took me serious. And I always wanted to feel like I'm on an equal playing field. I don't know, it's just, it bothered me too much. It made me feel, when something bothers you, you have it in your core, like it really, it's not. I didn't feel, it's just, yeah.
Well,
And
this,
go
this is
ahead.
how I feel about that. It's not for us to always be making someone else better because the gift's already in you to make you better, right? So you taking that step, and you told me you took that step about creating your own business, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us that experience because nobody can stop your ideas in your own business when you're doing it for self. When you're giving your all to these people, making all this money, now you can do it for yourself, and nobody can hold you back now.
You're right. I guess me not having enough confidence in myself. And for years, I was compromising for other people. That's why I was taking these jobs that, that was just making somewhat of little money because based on my career, because I do have a background in graphic design, I could be making double. But me not feeling like I'm good enough, I guess that's another thing.
Let me, well, you kind of open up that door. Okay, you're not feeling good enough. Um,
Not feel like I'm best or a great graphic designer now. Me saying this, I might have friends out there might see your podcast and be, see this and be infuriated because they were like, how, like, why are you feeling this way? You got 2 degrees, you went to Pratt Institute, like, are you kidding me? Like, but it made me, after graduating, I felt very insecure. I didn't feel like I was like a great graphic designer, and then people will say they see my work and they be like, you kid, why are you feeling this way? I feel like corporate America is so big and the percentage of who's in it compared to who is not, or it might be the balance of the two, but people's not being treated fairly. And I've seen it. I see it. Especially when I was working in HR, I see who's being treated fairly based off salary rate, wages, um, promotions, opportunities to implement a good idea. Like I seen it, like I see it, and it's just very frustrating. Uh,
no,
it's
no,
a lot.
no. The reason why I'm asking those questions because I don't view it as they so big. I look at it like if the old school story of David and Goliath. You know what I'm saying? Goliath is way bigger than David, right? It took him down. So there you go. But the reason why I asked you about that is like, how, like, do you talk to your dad a lot?
I talk to him whenever I'm going through things. I don't
But
talk to
not
him
just.
like my dad is very, very. When I tell you, informative man. He has his head on straight, but he's like a military guy. So it's just like he shoot. What was the old saying? Shoot or no
Yeah,
chase.
yeah, yeah. He a straight shooter.
Right. It's just I don't talk to him every day. No. Look, yeah, I don't talk to him every day. That's another.
Okay, but do you think like if you had have a conversation with your dad and told him like how you feel about confidence wise, you think he had the right words to help you or things like that?
Mm, I know he always said ever since I was like graduated high school and he drove me up back to New York from Baltimore. He said sometimes you have to be selfish to get ahead in life. And two, he always said that every year, and I'm in my early 30s, I'll be 32 in July. He's still telling me that because I guess he still see like I'd rather give more to people than actually focusing on myself.
Being selfless is good, but you do have to do for yourself. I mean, if you can't do for yourself, you can't do for others because it's like you're giving them something you're not giving yourself at the end of the day. So I get what he's saying that you got to concern with you, get you straight first, then you can go out and help other people. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I believe he's right, but with a good circle of friends and people cheering you on and say, I know you got it, sis.
And okay, and I think that's what I really lack. Like, and that's one of the things I'm going to talk about in my podcast, the lack of support from my family, and when sometimes really the lack of support in family. And sometimes you might get support through people that you really don't expect. And I realized I was pushing that support for so long away because I always wanted that support from family first because your family knows you, but I wanted that support from my family. And now I'm like realizing like you ain't gonna get that at all. So you start embracing the people that just pop up in your life that's willing to support you, because you know.
Yeah, well, some people I found out in my life have been good to me has not even been family, and you know what I'm saying, and helped me more than anything in life itself, right? And yes, I'm like you. I look my family and just we're not what we used to be. I mean, my family used to be so close and oh, everything was just so great, family reunions and all that. It's like everybody got like my grandfathers died, grandmother died. I got one grandmother left. You know, they like kind of kept the family together. And like since she's the only one left and she's sick, everybody kind of like just not together anymore. So it's like you either make your own family, like with your like say your spouse, your children, or even with friends that you may have that could love you more than family itself. I mean, family is just more than blood. But like I said, I understand the family situation because my family is like and they know it's the truth, and they probably see what I'm saying, and I don't care if y'all see, y'all know I ain't lying about that. We used to be close, all of us, and then now we act like we don't talk. We got all this technology, we don't talk.
You got me like that. The family stuff is still like touchy subject.
Well,
Still working through it.
I've accepted
Yeah.
it. I just say I build my own family and just make sure that my family don't be that way. But it's like it bothers me too. But I just learned just to hey, you can't change people. Only God can do that.
I'm
That's
starting to learn. I'm starting to learn that I can't change people because I'm the third oldest out of six on my father's side, and then the first oldest from my mom. And I'm that older sister. Like something wrong. Okay, let's try to fix it, or you know better. And it got to a point that my siblings is just like not with it no more. Like they have their own life, and I'm thinking, I was like, but to grow out of like in this world, you have to have unity, and we can grow together. Like, what's that saying? It's been going around. Like, you can go far by yourself, but you can have, I might say it out of content, but you can go far by yourself, but you can last, like, say, like, you could last longer with a community. Um, and that's how I've always loved that sense of community. Like back in the day, it takes a village to raise a child. I know whenever I got in trouble, I didn't just get in trouble with my mother and or my father. It was like my grandmother, my aunts, people that was in the community that raised me. So I always loved that community type of feel, which I feel like we are really lacking 100% today. We're only about self, and it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing, especially for black folks. I feel like because we was always about community.
y- y- yeah, and we got to get back to that. So say it definitely. Y'all hear the message. Families get back together. I say that this tearing our community apart is creating problems that we never had before. Please, our families, let's get back together. Start doing family reunions again. Y'all joke about those cookouts, but them cookouts came from family reunions for the most part. So, Isba, tell people how to get to your Instagram. Just in case some sisters say, I want to be your new friend.
Okay. Well, you can find me on all social media platforms at who.is.isba. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm starting fresh, so you're gonna start seeing more visual content, and everything. So, and then my email address is isba at whoisisba.me.